Hello and welcome to Ep 16 Market Buy Live. We are going to dive into some market stats for Q3. And of course, this is always one of my favorite shows for the simple fact that I love data and I am a bit of a geek. We're going to dive into some property data and we're going to look at what's been happening inside sales all around the country. But we're not just going to stop at Australia. We're going to jump across the ditch and check out New Zealand as well. We've got a whole heap of data we've been collecting on New Zealand, and we're going to have a look. There is a whole bunch of sales are just going gangbusters over there. So welcome to Saturday. Welcome to Market Buy Live. I hope your Saturday is going gangbusters, and strap yourself in because we're about to geek out. All right, without further ado, let's just jump straight in. We're going to jump in starting with Western Australia, and let's go west to south to east. I think that's how we'll roll around. So these numbers are basically Q3. So we're talking from 1st of July right through till yesterday. We've pulled the figures, so we've pulled some early figures so that we can get a good sort of look at what is actually happening in the market for this last quarter. And we're comparing them to the rest of the year. So Western Australia, look, the average first to last has dropped off in Q3 compared to Q2 and Q1. Not too much though. It wasn't too much of a drop. And obviously seeing a jump from that first offer to the final accepted offer of nearly $65,000, that's nothing to sneeze at. The average active days on market is dropping down as more and more buyers are, the buyers are competing more aggressively for property there. We're seeing more offers. So we're reaching that final point where everybody's going, hey, you know what, that's it. That's where we want to be a little bit quicker. Number of buyers have dropped off. No big surprise there. West Australia, border closures and things like that, no doubt having a little bit of play on that one. All right, let us go to Victoria. Victoria, so jumping down to the southern tip of Australia there, obviously not Tasmania. We're going to have some Tassie stats coming up later in the year, of course. We're just collating all the data on Tassie. But in Victoria, so interestingly, Q3, basically, Victoria spent pretty much all of Q3 in lockdown in one state or one various form of lockdown or another, but that hasn't stopped the action. So we've seen a huge increase in first to last compared to now. If you remember the first 6 months when we looked at Q1, Q2, I mean, there was a good jump. There was a good sort of $60,000, $70,000 jump there. And now we're talking an average jump in Q3 of $115,000 from first off to last. Now, what's not surprising about this is that we're seeing the average number of buyers has increased and therefore the average number of offers per property has increased at the same time. So there's more buyers and they're more aggressive. Average days on market has dropped as well, so that's an improvement there. As much as that's a little up arrow, the little up arrow is meaning that hey, that's a good thing. We're going for the high shelf, top shelf good. I don't know. Look, but it's a good thing, right? The active days on market has dropped, even though we've got an up arrow there. It's green. That's the thing we need to focus on. So that's dropped down as well. So that competition is still strong in Victoria in the sales that are available. Of course, the big question that we can't look at this particular point in time is the availability of stock. And that's going to have a huge impact on, you know, what these numbers actually mean moving forward and long term. If the availability of stock improves, will these numbers drop? And that's something we're really looking forward to coming into spring, of course. We know that spring is the best time of the year to sell. It traditionally has been, you know, the spring months into summer. That's when the Australian market really does sort of pick up some speed. So what's going to happen? Well, we'll be back in about a month or two's time to have a look at 3 months time to have a look and be able to report back on that because the truth is always in the data. Numbers don't lie. That's why I like them so much. All right, let's have a look at New South Wales now. New South Wales also in lockdown for pretty much this entire quarter in one form or another. I know regional's not as heavily locked down as what Metro is, but of course a lot of the real estate transactions happen in that metro area. But we can see, look, the numbers are still good, right? The numbers are still good. So we're talking an increase to nearly $84,000 first to last. We're seeing the active days on market have dropped as well. Again, little green arrow. That's the positive part. We're focusing on the green. Green means good, right? The average number of offers has increased. So we're now talking 23.28 offers per property, and the average number of buyers has jumped. Now, from memory, that's jumped from about 7 or 8 buyers when we last checked in and looked at Q1 and Q2 stats. So that's a significant increase. More competition happening for the stock that's available. We're going to need to start getting more and more data as market buy grows, and the growth's been phenomenal over the last years. And as we grow, we're going to start to get more and more of that data around what the availability of listings and stock is and things like that. And that's going to factor in to the analysis of these numbers moving forward as well. All right, let's have a look at the Sunshine State, Queensland. Now, Queensland's been fortunate and been hated by the rest, at least by the southeastern states a little bit, purely because Queensland hasn't been in lockdown for as long during this quarter. In fact, I think there was only one short lockdown. The activity's really good still. So I think in this particular case with Queensland, we're seeing that normalcy starting to come in this part of the cycle. Look, first to last, an increase to nearly $85,000 there, which is phenomenal. The active days on market, that's actually increased, the active days on market. And we got the little red arrow pointing down. Red is bad, red's increased. But in this case, it's not. I've been working with a number of different agents and talking quite closely with them. And a number of the agents in Queensland are actually extending the time that they're keeping properties active for on market buy in order to ensure they get as many buyers through as possible, because there are a lot of buyers on offer. So they'll run a couple of open homes rather than just adhering to the old adage of your first offer is often your best. And so they're letting things play out a little bit longer because there are so many buyers in the market at the present. And that is the reason, or one of the contributing factors to the days on market in Queensland increasing. But it's also one of the core factors in the average first to last price jumping. It's jumped about $20,000 from memory compared to Q1, Q2. And the average offers are up and the average number of buyers are up. So you can see that how agents are actually using the market buy platform and how they're approaching with their strategy is obviously starting to have influence on these stats and these numbers. And at this particular point in time, in a very, very positive way. All right, let's jump across the ditch to our friends in New Zealand, our family in New Zealand, our cuzzy bros. If I can be so colloquial, my parents were Kiwi, so therefore I'm allowed to say things like that, or at least that's what I tell myself. So New Zealand, first lot of real stats that we've been able to put together for New Zealand. So we don't have whether it's increasing or decreasing or anything like that at this point. We'll get more of that as we go. But New Zealand has taken to market buy over the last 12 months like a fish to water. Numbers first to last, average $108,000 as an average increase between that first offer and that last offer. The average days on market is just under 2 weeks, so that's the average active days on market. Really working well there and using this strategy very, very effectively. What I see is really quite impressive is the number of offers that New Zealand sales are getting from fewer buyers. Like looking at this slide, if we just look at the last 4 we've looked at, the average number of buyers have been in double digits. New Zealand's getting just under 6 registered qualified buyers per sale, but they're competing very aggressively and increasing those number of offers. Now, one of the things that is quite common in New Zealand is they use that hide offer feature, and that does lead to more offers because, of course, people go fishing looking for where that price is and what they need to pay, because it's not the price isn't right there in front of them. So, of course, they'll know where they sit in terms of whether or not they're the highest current offer or not. And so then they'll start fishing to try and pull that additional data. Or sorry, not pull that addition. That's my speak. That's what I try and do. They'll start fishing, trying to find where that price point is, where they become the top dog, so to speak, that top offer. And it's quite an interesting process to watch, but it is working very, very effectively over there. Our agents in New Zealand are reporting incredible results. And look, as you can see, of course, like the sellers are loving it. When you're talking your first offer to last offer increases by $108,000. That's a phenomenal result, and it's something very exciting to watch and see play out when you are when you are actually selling your house. So of course that brings a whole lot of the good feel, happy feel times to the agent themselves, and of course the seller is very much impressed with the agent's efforts on their behalf. So that's our stats for this show. We've covered off all around the country there, and had a look across the ditch at some incredible data. And I always look forward to these shows. Every quarter I look forward to these shows because I love going through the data and pulling it all apart. But again, nice, sharp, short show, just a good sort of 10 minutes today, so that you can get on with your weekend, and hopefully you've had a fantastic run with inspections and sales and lead gen and all of those things that you guys need to be doing to keep everything cruising along. And that's it from me. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I look forward to catching up with you next week. Hopefully we'll have a guest on the show next week. I'm getting more organized about, making sure you don't just have to look at my face all week, every week. So, but anyway, that's it. Enjoy your weekend. Have a wonderful week. May all your buyers be paid cash and all of your building and pest inspections go through without a hitch. Bye for now.